So UFC fight night, Brown versus Bonfim just happened, and I'll be reacting and choosing possible opponents for the winners and losers of this card too. So to start off with, Zachary Reese versus Jackson McVeigh. This was originally cancelled. This fight. Zachary Reese came in on 3 days' notice or 2 days' notice, some crazy amount, and he just absolutely put a beating on Jackson McVeigh, took him down, and got the sub in the second round. Man, just looked terrible, and he had a full camp. I know that didn't change, but the fact is he legitimately has just looked terrible. I think they're gonna cut Jackson Bay, but for Zach, man, he's looked good. He's won his last three, so I think we have to gift him like someone not up the rankings, but just below. And I think a Jung Young Park is a good answer to that. He was fringe of the top 15, or maybe even a Bus Medal. Even though Bus just lost, I think he even a Kelvin Gaslam, but I think you know I like the idea of a Jung Young Park versus Zachary Reese. So yeah, let's look that. And for the first fight, second fight of the card, sorry. Miles Johns versus Daniel Marcos. I predicted this pretty perfectly. Marcos was gonna, you know, overwhelm him. I liked his style. I liked how he was going. This fight, man, fucking Miles Johns, he was going alright, but Daniel Marcos eventually caught the neck and basically choked him unconscious. And that's a good win for Daniel Marcos. No, Miles Johns isn't really one of the best bantamweights. I think for Daniel Marcos, we have to put him up. I'm honestly tempted to give him a top 15 guy, maybe even fringe of top 15. So we could go. Hold on, sorry. We could do Marcos versus Bryce Mitchell. Do you like that? Or a Jacob Whitlax. That's actually perfect that these two are right next to each other. Both heavy grapplers, both got their Dave Marcos is gonna win, and Blacks need named opponent in the bantamweight division to get into that top 15. So yeah, I think that's a really good fight. For Miles, I don't think he's either gonna get cut or they're just gonna give him. I could guess with Miles Johns, you could say Garrett Armfield or fuck it, man. Like I know Chris Montino's lost his last fights in the UFC, but Montino needs to give him somebody that ain't a killer. All right, for the next fight, Tisha Pennington versus Denise Gomes. Tisha Pennington, she doesn't come forward when she needs to. She needs to be more aggressive in her fights if she wants. You know, good. Enjoyed it for women's MMA, and yeah, I think for Denise Gomes, she did exactly what she needed to do. She was aggressive. She was landing the heaviest strikes, and in that third round, she dominated. So yeah, I think Gomes, she's gonna get a ranking, next week. So for Denise Gomes, what are they? Strawweight. Yep, strawweight. So for Denise, I guess we have a bit more up the ranking, even though she just got a ranking spot. Ooh. We could give her. I gotta see who's in the top 15. So I guess Satisha was like 13. Yeah, so we could give her around. They won't give her Tabitha. I think Tabitha Rich is a little protected. I could see them just got an opponent. Damn, this is hard. Where's the rest of the division? Angela Hill's matched up to. I could see them giving and Amanda Ribas, Amanda lost her fight against Tabitha Ricci, and she needs a win. She needs to go down. While, um, shit, I'm so bad with this. Going to fight down, so you're gonna have to give her probably maybe a Jacqueline Amorum, or like a Luma Lungbingme. Did she? Yeah, Luma who did her fight. So yeah, I think that's a good fight to book. The next fight, wouldn't even call it a fight. Runs through Matt Jimenez, and I don't know what. Like, don't get me. He looks super undersized, Josh Hokett, for the heavyweight division. Like, it was like David versus Goliath, but David won that fight. So I guess Max Jimenez hit him. He felt it straight away. Josh Hokett just rushed him and he found his chin. So I guess it's a good win for Josh Hokett. Josh Hokett, heavyweight's very thin. I see them I could see shooting him up the ladder, but look how thin this division is, man. It's crazy. So for Josh Hokett, I could see, yeah, look, they've already kind of put him on the thing. I could see them putting him against. I'd like to see Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann. He won his fight against Lucas Brzezinski, and he needs another fight before he can fight in the rankings. I'd be surprised though if they put him up in a rankings fight. If they don't want to do Ryan Spann, they could do a Vitor Petrino. Whoever wins obviously gets a ranked opponent in the top 15. I do like those two. Actually, I do like that Vitor Petrino matchup. For Jimenez, he's it's a tough outing, and he didn't look very good. I guess you could put him against Elisha Ellison for whoever loses their contract, and you get to live another day. So yeah, book that, I guess. Okay, for the next fight, man, bantamweight really needs to clean up really well, and Jacqueline Calvacanti was just piecing Silva the whole fight. Mario Silva wasn't throwing a single strike, and I predicted this pretty right. So for Jacqueline Calvacanti, I'm pretty sure she was. Bantamweight. There you go. Yeah, Jacqueline Calvacanti, she versed number 10 in Mario Bueno Silva, so obviously she's only going to go up one or two. And, I could see putting her up against a Yana Santos, or maybe even a Caitlin Vieira. Caitlin Vieira just lost, even though it was a robbery. And Yana Santos, she looked alright in the last fight against Macy. Looks pretty good, although I don't rate Macy. So yeah. For Mara Bueno Silva, she has to fight down the rankings, man, because that was just she didn't fight. We could give her. Oh my god, this division is thinner than I wait. That's crazy, man. I guess give her. Um, we could give her Josiana Nunez. The yeah, book that fight, I guess. A good win for. Sorry, I'm off it today. Good win for Jacqueline Calvacanti. The next fight was Ricky Simone versus Rani Barcelos. This was a dogfight, man. I actually really enjoyed this, even though this was the end of my multi. It was It was going 1-1 into the third round, but Rani Barcelos was had the more powerful shots. So yeah, I really enjoyed this fight. Rani Barcelos, I have to give him a ranked opponent, top 15. Um, and I think they're going to give him pretty far up the ranking. But here's the issue with that. I don't the top 10. I could see him, like beating a who's number. Excuse me. Oh, he's already ranked. Shit, sorry. I could, yeah, I could really see that'd be a good fight. Tim Elliott versus Rani Barcelos. I don't really think anyone above 10 they could give him. Not really. Because I think half ranked. Yeah, or a Mario Batista. That'd be a good fight. Mario Batista just lost against Umar. He had a big step up. And Barcelos needs a step. Barcelos needs a step up. Batista needs a step down. So I think book that. And for Ricky Simone, we kind of have to go. Like he has to go. Back down the rankings. Obviously, I'd like to see him versus Damon Blackshear. Steve Erceg. It's a good fight. Oh wait, Steve Erceg's ranked still. Shit, sorry. Damon Blackshear, I guess, or versus Junior. That's a good step up for Raw versus Junior. Okay. And yeah, Ricky Simone's he's a veteran in the bantamweight division, and Raw versus Junior needs to step up. Ricky Simone needs a step down, so I think we book that. That's a good fight. Okay. For the next fight, Hydro Mill versus Emmers. Hydro Mill had you know, Emmers just took over his grappling, which I didn't. I thought Jamal Emmers was more of a striker whenever I watched him. But yeah, his grappling looks super impressive tonight, and I think it was a good win over a young and upcoming prospect. What is he young? He looks okay. But yeah, Jamal Emmers looks real impressive, which I didn't think he was. So for Jamal Emmers, I think we give him fringe of the top 15. So if we go to featherweight roster, what is so if we go fringe of the top 15, yeah, here we go. I think I was thinking of David Onama, but I think I was like, David Onama does need to step down, but I think like Jamal there, yeah, he needs another win before he's like fighting in the ranking, even if it is the just the top. I think Jamal Emmers versus Sean Woodson would be a good fight. Very rangy dudes. One's a grappler, one's a striker. I think that'd be a good fight. You Sean Woodson hasn't fought in a while. Or we could see a Jamal Emmers versus a maybe not Pico. It's a dangerous fight. I wonder. Yeah, I think I just like that Sean Woodson fight for him. And for Hydro Mill, he has to go down. So he can fight a Jack Jenkins. That could be a good fight. They're both comers, Jack Jenkins won against Roman Tavares. And what's the name? Hydro Mill just lost. So yeah, that's a good middle rankings for the both of them. I think we book that. We're on to the main card now. But Christian Leroy Duncan, man, he looks so good. He looks so good tonight. And Marco Tullio, I think something was off with him because he looked off. He looked very off from what he usually does. But yeah, man, that's such a brutal knockout with that back fist. So for CLD, we have to give him somebody up in the rankings. Not in the rankings. I mean, like someone maybe fringe of the rankings actually. And I was thinking about this fight. I was like, that'd be a cracker fight. Joe Pfeiffer. Yeah, man, that's a fucking awesome striking battle. Joe Pfeiffer just won against Abur Magomedov. I know he'll want to go up the rankings. You know, they'll probably give him a Roman Lidze or a. I always hate looking at the rankings because it's like all over the place. Or ran like a Jared Cannonier just to get him up there. But if they don't want to give Duncan, you know, if they don't want to give Duncan, oh, I'm dumb. You know, a 3 fight win streak, we have to give him somebody. I guess we could do Ikaram Eliskirov. He's on the fringe of the top 15. Yeah, they're two big up and comers. Ikram's one, and if they want to give him a ranked opponent, I think, where is he? I was just talking about him. I'm so dumb. Joe Pfeiffer, Officer Joe Pfeiffer. Yeah, I like that fight. For Marco Tullia, he has to, fight someone else, I guess. Kelvin Gastelum, I think they're gonna want to build off the name with Marco Tullia. You know, Kelvin Gastelum has been pissing off the UFC with all these weight. You know, they keep friggin' keeps missing weight, man. You can't do that. So I think we give Marco Tulio. If he gets through Marco Tulio, guess Kelvin gets to come up. If Marco Tulio beats the shit out of Kelvin Gastelum, Marco Tulio gets to get back through up the middleweight ranking. So, so we have Chris Padella vs Ismail Bonfim. I don't like the Bonfim brothers, so I was so happy. Like Chris Padilla fights so strange, man. He fights like a turtle. Not kidding. Like he shells up very high and very, but it worked for him because Ismail can. This is what I mean. Like he missed weight by 2.5 kilos, 5 pounds. That's crazy. So he's already getting 25% of the verse, and yeah, he got a nice TKO. But I want to rant about this. What the fuck was Chris Tyone doing? Because he waited so to finish that fight. Like Ismail didn't like as much as I don't like the Bonfims. I don't think he needed to take that much extra damage. Like the fight was done when basically, like let him do a few shots, but it was so many unnecessary shots. So he's on a 4 fight win streak in the lightweight division. I think we have to give him fringe of lightweight. So what could we do for Chris Padilla? And nearly every person has been like, oh, let's match up skilled with this guy, this guy, this guy. I don't think we do that yet. I think we could do a Chris Padilla versus a Chris Duncan. That could be a good fight. That could be a lot of fun. Chris Duncan's on a good win streak as well. We could do or he's on the fringe of lightweight as well. Ignacio Barramendez just lost to Rafael Fiziev. He needs to fight down. But yeah, I like that Chris Duncan fight or Ignacio Barramendez. And for Bonfim, man, I don't know what we do with him. I guess we could give him a. I guess we can give him Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson looked super impressive in his last fight. Yeah, I like that fight for Kyle Nelson. And yeah, I guess that's who we'll get the Bonfim. Judging lately, so yeah. And why do I always go with the freaking man? I'm always thinking, oh, he's on a 3 fight win streak, 2 KOs, look good. Muslim Sarkov looked terrible, man. He looked terrible. And, like, he's never been half bad. Like, I just don't understand. He just kind of ate shit and curled up, like, it was amazing. So, good win from Uros Medic. Good, I give credit to him. I just didn't think of his last win was very impressive. You know what I mean? I don't rate Gilbert Abina very highly. But we have to give Uros Medic some up in welterweight. So for a welterweight fight, there's a lot of fights in welterweight, by the way. We could give, Uros Medic. A lot of people saying Sam Patterson versus like a high class striker. I don't know where the Leech has been. Otherwise, I'd probably put him fighting the Leech. We could do Uros Medic versus. Oribai's already got someone. Actually, we could do Randy Brown. Randy Brown just lost. I think that's a good fight. Uros Medic versus Randy Brown. Randy Brown has to fight down. He got knocked out. Someone that's fringe top 20. I think that's a good fight to make, and I think that's the fight too, actually. So yeah. And for Muslim, man, like he's on a win streak, but he was on a losing streak before that. I think we do the Battle of the Youngs. Let's do Nicholas Dalby. 41. I'm 41. Like, I think that's the fight to make. You know, Nicholas Dalby, he's always game, and Muslim Salikov, they're both on brutal knockouts, so they'll be ready about the same time, roughly, I'd imagine, because Nick had way worse. I imagine he would have been on a 180-day suspension, and I'm sure Salikov won't be on too much of a suspension. It didn't look too bad. But yeah, I think we book the Youngs. So yeah, book it. To be honest, I went for a piss. If this shit loads, I went for a piss during this break, and I come back and I see guys. So no surprise, choking out Matt Schnell with a guillotine. So see Matt Schnell. I don't think we're gonna be like he can't be in the UFC. I think Matt Schnell's got it, honestly. And for Joseph Morales, that's an impressive win over. Well, it's not. That's not an impressive win. I don't think that's very impressive at all. So Joseph Morales, we have to flyweight. Damn, I definitely would have thought. Is flyweight shallow? Yeah, feels shallow. So Joseph Morales is on a 2-fight win streak. I think we have to give him. Like it's all pretty close when it comes to that. I don't know half the fighters in flyweight. That's really bad. I guess I'm a top 15 guy. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Who? Oh no, I know who that is. Oh, actually, Alan Nascimento. I like that fight. Both submission artists, both real awkward in the striking. I think the fight Alan Nascimento versus. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Nascimento, Morales, let's make that fight. For Chanel, he's getting cut. I don't think they're going to sign him. I don't think they're going to keep him. Just can't see them keeping him. And for the last fight, disappointed me, man. I thought Randy Brown was going to come out striker at range. I don't rate Bonfim either. I rate Bonfim. He got knocked out by Nicholas Dalby like a year or two ago. Don't get me wrong. Dalby is there to be in a war, but I just don't rate Gabriel Bonfim highly. But credit where credit's due. He not yeah fuck. He was not Randy Brown the whole fight, and then real weird stoppage because he need Randy Brown. Now Randy Brown went stiff. Like he can't say, "Oh, this was an early stoppage." Like I watched that fight, 100%. I think it should have been stopped, but I do think he should have gotten a few shots in just so it didn't look so friggin' shit. But yeah, I guess Gabriel Bonfim's gonna have to fight upwards, and there is one fight I really like for him. I'm gonna say in a minute. But yeah, Randy Brown really disappointed me this fight. That's all I've got to say. For Gabriel Bonfim, there's only one fight I want for him, and I think this is to really test him at welterweight. Like this makes so much sense. It's not even funny. I think we number 7 ranked Joaquin Buckley. Okay, hear me out. Joaquin just lost to one of the best welterweights ever. He needs a step down. A lot of people would say, "Oh, he doesn't need that much of a step down." I think he does. I think he needs to prove himself again before he fights someone up in the rankings. I know we could, yeah, and Gabriel Bonfim's ranked number 14, so it's like a half jump. Like if Joaquin knocks out Bonfim, then like he's done it. He's proved that Bonfim ain't that good. But if Bonfim goes out there, outstrike Joaquin, and somehow gets a knockout over him, Bonfim's in the top 10, man, and that would prove he's ready for this. I was matchups for Bonfim, and I was like, Colby is not willing to fight. I was thinking Daniel Rodriguez, but they're obviously going to want to put him up. Jeff Neal's going to be out for ages. Gilbert Burns, I don't think they're going to feed him to Gilbert Burns. And everyone else is pretty much booked or injured. Like, Sean's booked up with Michael Morales. Shavkat's injured for another year somehow. Sean's booked up with Carlos Prates. So the only person that really doesn't have a fight is Usman, who's not going to fight down that far. And Joaquin Buckley, who needs to fight someone coming up. So I think that's a good fight. And for Randy, like I said before, I like the fight with shit. How do I just Uris Medic. I think that's a good fight to make. Man, I've been shitting on these Apex cards. You know what? I've been liking, like, they've been very fun. They've been showing, like, the last two cards have been better than the Aspinall card, which is pretty impressive to say. I will be making a video on the judging lately. It's been friggin' horrible, but yeah, this is my video on Randy Brown versus Gabriel Bonfim fight night. I went for picks. I went, yeah. So that's one. Oof. Holy hecker. Did terrible. 3, 4, 5, 6. I did 6 for 12. That's a terrible night for me. Yeah, man, if you like the video, like and subscribe. And I hope you like the new mic, because I bought a brand new mic, so there's no fridge in the background. But yeah, I hope you like the video. Thanks. See ya.